In my hands, I have a ton of books. This is kind of my fall book haul. I've been seeing a lot of people talk about their fall curriculum. People miss the idea of being in school and what that entails. It means like you're around people who are somewhat like-minded, like you can find your people, but you're constantly learning. Not only are you learning, you're talking about what you're learning, you're applying it or trying to apply it to the real world. And as someone who, just graduated from business school not too long ago, I understand, like, I miss that environment. I don't miss the grades and feeling like you're on like 10 different deadlines and trying to do things vocationally as well. But I do miss like having dedicated time to learn. You can still do that when you're not in school, but there's something about being around people who are also doing that. So I can understand why there's kind of a community around that right now. So I thought I would just share the books I'm reading right now and share my current like curriculum. I've been really into like reading vlogs, but like themed reading vlogs that aren't just like for one book, but for multiple books around a certain theme or topic, which kind of gets back into the whole idea of like this curriculum. And I was looking at the books that I have and realized like, you know what, like there are themes to these, and I feel like that would be fun to do, like read, talk about things, but then also try to, use some critical thinking and put some of these like themes and books together. So I'm just gonna go through what I'm reading. The first one is 6 Types of Working Genius. I actually did not buy this book. My mom bought it for me, so thanks Mom for thinking I'm a genius. But I think this is like for anyone. Oh yeah. She bought this when she was in Chicago. The 6 Types of Working Genius is the fastest way to help people identify the type of work that brings them joy and energy and avoid work that leads to frustration and burnout. Remarkably simple and practical framework for tapping into one another's natural gifts, which increases productivity and reduces unnecessary judgment. I'm not gonna read the entire thing to you, but I think this is one of those things where like I think the whole point is like everyone has a little bit of genius in them, so it's just about kind of like unlocking what that means for you, so like you're not spending your time doing things that don't bring that out in you. Okay, what I'm currently reading though is 107 Days by Kamala Harris. I'm like about a third of the way through. I feel like the other day I was just in bed reading, which I'm trying to be better about. I don't need to read in bed. Like I need to stop doing that. Read on the couch, read in a park, but stop reading in bed when it's not nighttime. I'm already obsessed with this book, and mainly because I think she's being honest. I don't think a lot of people are talking about this. I think it's probably because people don't want to be like, oh, like feel like they're showing that they voted one way or another. But guys, this is like American history. I think anyone can learn something from this, whether or not you supported Kamala Harris. Okay, this is one that I'm like actually very excited about. This is Philadelphia, an American Paris. I found this in a local secondhand bookstore, and the funny thing is, if you are on Philly TikTok, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are not, but a lot of people have been talking about, there's this like running joke that Philly is like the Paris of the US. Apparently, I didn't know this, but there are a lot of similarities, and it was kind of planned and built out to resemble Paris. And I think there are other aspects of Philly that are Parisian inspired. And first of all, this was autographed. This was signed by the author in 2005, Christmas. So I feel like someone in the Philly area donated this book to the store. Imagine like 20 years ago, they were signing this. But the reason why I'm obsessed with this is because the author isn't like some urban planner. It's a physician. Like he is a guy who at the time of writing was based in Philly and spent a lot of time in Paris, and like through those trips, I think he started to see similarities. And there are a lot of people who will go and see that similarity and be like, oh, interesting. Read a maybe Wikipedia page about it and be like, oh, okay, cool. And then there are people who go the extra step like this guy did and like researched it and then put it into a book, got it published. And I mean, I don't think you can even buy this on Amazon. So it's not like it was this national bestseller, but I actually am so happy, and this is like the perfect coffee table book for someone who has lived in Philly for a few years now. The other ones, I'm not really gonna talk about them much, but you'll see the theme. Choke Points and American Power in the Age of, economic warfare, and pretty self-explanatory. A lot of these books are from the Financial Times, like Business Books Award. They put out the long list and the short list, and so I kind of just like went through and looked at the ones that seemed kind of interesting to me and then bought those. Everyone keeps talking about how the next world war will not be fought with, you know, pew pew. It'll be fought through like economic regulation, trade, tariffs, cyber attacks, list goes on. And then this one is How Progress Ends. I'm actually doing this research I have a new newsletter. It's focused on the applications of AI, like applied AI, because I feel like a lot of people talk about like AI news, but I really want to focus on how people are using AI, not even just people, corporations, businesses, how it's transforming industries. It's something that I've been kind of doing in my 9 to 5 a little bit, and I kind of wanted to expand it because I thought it was just kind of interesting. And yeah, one more thing on my docket, but I would say this is like one of the ones I'm like very excited about. Between this, the beauty stack, and obviously this YouTube, those are probably like my top 3 right now. I'm doing kind of like a little bit of research with a specific country and their footing in the AI race and world. And the next 4 are all about China. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but when I was at Wharton, I took a class managing and competing with China. Yeah, I think that's what it was called. And I thought it was really insightful. And I read a book before I took the class that made me want to take that class. These books are kind of specific parts of the Chinese business and economic world. So the first one is Apple in China, the capture of the world's greatest company. I feel like I'm always surprised that Apple can sell their products in China. I'm sure this will go into why that is and how they got there. House of Huawei, the secret history of China's most powerful company. I actually just read a book and talked about how this was the most powerful company, and they kind of took a dip in the last few years because of some economic choke points from the US government. Sorry, I did not mean to be that excited about that, but it's just, I just love when I start to see connections. And then The Thinking Machine, Jensen Huang, NVIDIA and the world's most coveted microchip. I just finished reading this book called Chip War, and it was all about chips, microchips, and I feel like this is gonna give me a more in-depth understanding of NVIDIA and just their role in this. Hate the color. I don't know, this is the second book I have in this like bright green. I think they could have picked a different color, but I think when you're in a bookstore, you want to stand out. Sooner or later, half the books are going to be in this color because they're going to want to stand out and they're going to hit the print at the same time. And the last one, Breakneck, China's Quest to Engineer the Future by Dan Wang. Do you know what got me? Maybe in one of the reviews, they talked about how America was built and kind of shaped by lawyers. This book talks about how China is being led by engineers, and that is why they've been so innovative, and that's why they're catching up. This is not a book haul because it's been here for a while. I just haven't read it because every time I'm ready, I'm like, am I ready for an 800-page book? And I think I am now. But this is Napoleon, A Life. Apart from the China one, I want to do a reading mini curriculum on Paris and the Impressionism art movement.